This right here is a Red Wing 2217 LoggerMax, and I've had this boot for almost 2 years. I want to say this boot cost me, I think with tax was like around $395, $400, somewhere in that area. And I do have in here, I have the insoles that, there's a lot of hair on there. I guess that's what happens when you have 3 dogs. But anyway, these are the insoles that you put in the oven, and they form to your feet. Comfort wise, once I got into the Pacific Northwest boots, like the Whites and Franks, yeah, I just didn't wear these anymore. They're not real comfortable compared to those boots. But this is the right one. The left one I already started tearing down, and I have the boot here. I've already got the sole off, and one of the things that's interesting here is, if you see this right here, this is a slip sole. Even Red Wing has a slip sole. So if you remember, or if you've seen it, the video I did on the JK Fire Inlander, it does not have a slip sole. So you know that, and like I said, even Red Wing has a slip sole on it. So and you can see there's quite a bit of scoring. Again, this helps the adhesive bond. And once again, with the JK, there was very little scoring on either side, or either component, I should say. So I'm going to go ahead and take this midsole off. And this midsole is like a plastic material, or a hard rubber maybe. You can indent it with your fingernail, but it appears to be like a really hard rubber. So I'll go ahead and get this off, and we'll take a look underneath. I'm expecting to find a steel shank underneath here, and we'll just kind of go from there. All right, so we'll go ahead and get this torn off here. Okay. And there's some cork in here, some cork filling. And here is the shank. And it is a triple rib shank. Show this to you here in a minute. Get this unwrapped. There's the shank. And then again, some of the cork filling. And this right here is, you've got the gemming right here, which is what attaches the welt to the footbed. And it appears that is looks like it's stitched, and there's some, looks like staples in there too. So I'll go ahead and work on getting this gemming loose from the welt, and then start taking the upper apart, and we'll kind of take a look at what we got going on here. Okay, and so just taking this welt off here. I'll go ahead and get the rest of this off and then we'll take a look. Okay, so I've got the upper separated from the gemming. There are some staples every so often. Okay. All right, so yeah, they're really, really small staples. Right, they're not big at all, but they serve the purpose. I'd say every maybe inch and a half. It's, yeah, about every inch it looks like they've got a staple in there. So here's your liner. All right, and here is the composite toe. Or is that steel? Like a piece of, like a pad or something. A piece of fabric underneath here, I guess, to make it a little more comfortable on the inside. And then you've got a counter here, which is like it's like a celastic material. And it's got some foam on the inside. And then this looks like it's just bonded together. Yeah. Yeah, it's just bonded together, it looks like. And the footbed is a synthetic material. It's like foam board, maybe. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like. I don't know how else to describe it. But it does have a little bit of give to it, squish, whatever you want to say. But you can see this is your gemming right here, and then it's stitched through the gemming, then into the upper here, and then that's weird. There's a piece of foam right here, but there's not one on the other side. Oh no, must have been, it fell off. So I guess that's for comfort as well, so you don't feel the stitching here. And then there's a piece of foam here, which is underneath the tongue, gusseted tongue. Again, for comfort, I'm sure. And I mean, there's quite a little bit to these. They're not as comfortable, like I said, as the other boots once they're broken in. They are considerably, the Pacific Northwest boots, the ones that are built well, are considerably more comfortable than what this is. Although once you get these broken in, they're probably not too bad, you know, for the price. Now, considering that you can get a Frank's Patriot for roughly about the same price as this, I'd do a Frank's Patriot all day long over this. This is not a bad boot. If you're looking for something with that has some has like a steel toe, and if you've been, you know, a diehard Red Wing customer for, you know, years or whatever, I could certainly see where somebody would, you know, want to stay with that. And it's not terrible. but there's a lot of synthetic materials in here. A lot. But that's to be expected because it is a mass-produced boot. So, oh, that's the insole. That formed insole. So I can take that out. And then this is just like basically like a sock liner type of thing. And like I said, it is waterproof. And one of them damn staples just cut me. It looks like this is actually stitched. Well, it's bonded, but the bottom of this is stitched. So, I mean, there's pretty much no rebuilding this at this point. I mean, I've pretty much destroyed it. I mean, this, at the very least, it's no longer going to be waterproof. But what looked like was stitched is actually just the sock liner stitched together. So. And again, this is just bonded. And it's bonded pretty well, I would say. Staple got me good. Probably should have been wearing gloves, but they're actually right over there. I just didn't put them on. Okay. All right, so this here is the footbed. And it is a synthetic material. It's not leather. It's like maybe leather board, maybe, or something along those lines. Sometimes you can get a name on here. Looks like it says Texan. Which I'm pretty sure is a brand name. There's a little pad, really thin pad here for your, that's the bottom part of the steel toe, or I guess this is steel. It's coated, but it's too heavy to be composite. Yeah, that's steel. And it's got a piece of rubber here as well. Again, I think for comfort. This glue is almost like, almost feels like petroleum jelly a little bit, like Vaseline or something. It's, I mean, it is sticky, but also kind of slippery. Anyway, if I were to heat this up, I'm sure this would come out a lot easier. But this kind of gives you an idea. Here's your lining in here, and here's your leather. It's not particularly thick, not compared to the Pacific Northwest boots by any stretch of the imagination. And there's virtually no temper to it at all. It's really quite soft. And then it looks like we've got, let's see, the vamp here. Well, the vamp and the upper is all one piece. Whereas, like, if you tear apart the, if you tear apart like the Franks or the whites, you have a separate vamp from the upper. So you've got the upper and then you've got a vamp over the top. So you've got basically 2 layers, at least on their lace to toe. And on this, it's just the upper, and then you've got like a canvas liner here that's glued in. And there's more of them staples. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's what it consists of. Well, I thought that was a tag. You've got some pad back here as well for the heel. There's your upper. Here's your heel counter, your footbed, the sole, and there's your midsole, along with some of the cork filling. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I would say for a boot that is mass produced, I mean, it's put together pretty well. I mean, I would see where it would take quite a bit to get it to come apart, but it's really not rebuildable. I mean, I don't see how anyone could, put this back together. But, again, this is just to show you what you're getting when you buy a Red Wing. So, and I'm sure that the Thorogood is probably the same. I do have a Danner that I'm going to be taking apart. It's a USA made Danner. I think they call it the Logger. I don't know. I'll look at tag and see what the model number is. But anyway, again, this is 2217 LoggerMax, made in the USA, or assembled in the USA anyway. There you go.